Hello, we'd like to go through the dynamic earth with you, and this one is the first chapter, and I would like to go through the rock cycle with you first. And for the rock cycle, I think we should be very bear in mind. We should be bear in mind about what is happening for the three kinds of rock type. First of all, which is the igneous rock and extrusive, and for the igneous rock, there are intrusive igneous rock and also intrusive igneous rock. And then but bear in mind for the extrusive igneous rock, which is talking about it is the solidification of sorry, not magma, it should be lava. Okay, the solidification of lava, cooling and solidification of lava in a lava cools and solidified. Quickly, okay. And then igneous rock, for the intrusive one, it should be the magma. Cools and solidified slowly. Okay, so bear in mind these two differences because some of your students still mixing up and in the last the second mock. So I think you would better have a better understanding about the differences between the extrusive igneous rock and also intrusive igneous rock. Okay, and after its weathering and also transportation and deposition and liquefaction, this in general we can regard it as denudation plus the liquefaction. Okay, and it will become the sedimentary rock. Okay, but if they are high pressure, okay, if they are high pressure or high temperature, it will becomes a metamorphic rock. So in general, you can read from my words, and most of them we are talking about for the dynamic earth. We will focus in the extrusive igneous rock and also intrusive igneous rock. But is it totally not important for the sedimentary rock and also metamorphic rock? No, because there are some specific there are some DBQ question in the paper 2 for these few years is just asking sedimentary rock also. So I think you better have a look in, at least you would better have a look for the sedimentary lesson, sedimentary rocks as well, not supplementary lesson. And then and both of them can be interchanged. Okay, for example, the metamorphic rock can undergo weathering and become sedimentary rock, and then sedimentary rock can undergo can experience high pressure and temperature and become metamorphic rock. So three types of rock can be interchanged can be changed to each other as well. Okay, this we will call it as the rock cycle. Okay, next one. So, but I would like to remind you this rock cycle first, okay? And this one, the one in the cover page, it is the most detailed explanation for the rock cycle. If you want something simplified, you can refer to here, okay? But generally, I really suggest you have a more detailed explanation because for this part, I think rock cycle is kind of easy topic for inside the dynamic earth. You won't prefer those topic field and also those landslide those kind of things, okay? So this one is the simplified rock cycle, okay? And the most popular minerals in Hong Kong will be the granite, okay? So for the granite, I just want to remind you the three main minerals inside granite. First of all, feldspar, which is gray and green in color, mica, black in color, and also the quartz, the石英, okay, which is can make up as a watch, okay, which is white in color. So feldspar and mica can be interact with the water easily. So the weathering is easily to occur in granite, okay. The remainder is the quartz, okay. So, as I have said before, extrusive volcanicity and intrusive volcanicity, which can form the extrusive igneous rock and also intrusive igneous rock. And bear in mind, fast cools and solidification will cause a smaller crystal. Okay, for the extrusive volcanicity is in the upper page. Okay, it is the lava cools and crystallizes rapidly, which is solidified rapidly. Okay, and it will cause a in a lower temperature, which is faster because you need lower temperature to make it cool and make it solidified. Okay, and the crystal size will smaller. Okay, when this comes to a intrusive volcanicity, the speed of the cools and solidification will become slow as the temperature is relatively high in the Earth interior. What is it about? Because in the interior, like here, which is hot, okay, and an intrusive igneous rock will formed in here, okay, just like the line rock. Line rock is formed in here, okay, which is called the batholith, okay. And another words for the another terms that we can use to describe the intrusive igneous rock, which is pontonic rock, and other words for the extrusive igneous rock, which is volcanic rock. So bear in mind, don't call it as the intrusive volcanic rock, no such thing. Okay, bear in mind. Okay, how about sedimentary rock? How is it formed? Generally, which is like with the denudation plus the liquefaction. Okay, what is inside the denudation? You may heard in the previous lesson already. Denudation incurs weathering, and then the erosion, and then deposition. These three things joined together, we will call this a denudation, 剝蝕作用 in Chinese. Okay, we're talking about wearing of the rock and taking it away from sigil and then redeposit in other places. Okay, so I'm not going to make it in detail for weathering, erosion, and deposition. I will talk about it later. Okay, what is liquefaction? Liquefaction, in short, is talking about those deposits joined together and become a rock-like layer-like pattern and form a sediment layer. Okay, but what are the difference? Compaction is kind of physical. Okay, what's physical compaction? Just like let's think about Mr. Leung fall to the ground and then compact a piece of bread, and then the bread will become fattened, right? So this is a kind of physical compaction, and also the sediment is compacted. Okay, as the pore space between the sediment will reduce, just like Mr. Leung compact on the bread, and then the bread will become fattened. Is because the pore size inside the bread will become the air will squeeze out from those pore size. Okay, pore space, not pore size. Right. Cementation. Cementation. What is cementation? Which is talking about using water as a solvent to glue the sediment together. Okay, bind the sediment together, forming a sedimentary rock. Okay, which is look like a glue like kinds of cementation. Okay, first of and then mechanical form that we can have three forms for the sedimentary rock formation processes, and Hong Kong mostly are caused by mechanically formed sedimentary rock. Okay, what are the characteristic? It is the sedimentary rock is stratified. What is stratified? It look like a layered, okay, layered pattern. Okay, for example, sediment are sorted in water during deposition. Rock with larger grain size will suggest a higher energy depositional environment. Okay, and then the rock with smaller grain size will suggest a calm deposition environment. And so you can see mostly in Hong Kong, these two they are happening in Hong Kong. Okay, for example, this one is Peng Chau. This one is in Peng Chau. The shell is in Peng Chau, and conglomerate is in Ep1. Okay. And what's more, And you can see those chemical formed sedimentary rock and also organically formed sedimentary rock is not quite popular in Hong Kong, but just have a look. Okay, for example, the water will be always the chemical formed sedimentary rock solvent, okay, because it may dissolve some of the minerals, for example sulfate, okay, in the rock, and then it will become more concentrated and saturated in the lower ground layer, and this is gypsum is seko, okay, okay, and then organically formed is mostly about the corals, okay, or oyster, the shell of the oyster, and then they are dissolved by the seawater, and then the seawater will glue the corals or the shell of the oyster together and forming an organic limestone. And what's limestone? It is calcium carbonate, okay, right here, calcium carbonate, okay, and which will form a rich in colored sedimentary rock layer, okay, just like 龜苓 is look like this, 龜苓 in Guangxi, okay, Metamorphic rock, as I have said before, high pressure and temperature, and most importantly, it will change the texture and also the mineral composition of the parent rock. Okay, because they will do the two main process: recrystallize and also foliation. Okay, there are two forms of metamorphism. One of them high pressure and temperature, and other is just temperature but not pressure. Okay, so but are we going to memorize all the things? I don't think so. Genesis is taking place in Hong Kong. Ma Si Zhou do have it. Okay, but that's all for the metamorphic rock already. Okay, no need to make it in a very detailed way. But let's go to the general distribution of the different rock types in Hong Kong. I would like to show you another apps in which I have introduced to you already in the lesson, but just a reminder again. If you really want to have a look for different type of distribution of different rock, you can refer to here. Okay, like this, yeah. And then you can see the red one is mostly granite, okay, and then the green one is mostly the tough and rhyolite, those kind of extrusive volcanic rock, okay. How about the sedimentary rock? It look like this, okay. This one is sedimentary rock and yellow in color, okay. You can have a look for here. There's a lot of although the English version also available, but I just show it in Chinese version, which is called Hong Kong Geology. You can download it in any app stores, okay. And you can see from the previous geological map, you can see the general distribution of the different kinds of rock, okay. For example, the upland is mostly made up by the extrusive rock, volcanic rock. What is the examples of this? Mostly tough rhyolite, okay. No room for writing rhyolite, okay. Canteen and Yunnan area mostly are the lowland, and there are some of them are sedimentary rock, but not necessarily the sedimentary rock. Let's see again. Let me show you again, okay. You can see the sedimentary rock is taking place for here, okay. You can see how Wangzhou and Maipo is full of sedimentary rock, okay. But not all are sedimentary rock, okay. There are some granites as well, so we cannot make it very rigidly that all the lowland is made up by the sedimentary rock, also granite, okay. But you can say that Canteen and Yunnan area is made up of lowland, and most of the lowland are located in the north and northwestern part of New Territories. How about Shatin? Shatin is made up in the valley, and it is one of the main focus of the 201 HDSE essay question. Okay, why Satin is look like a valley? Because you can see there's a dotted line here. Along the dotted line, what is happening? The river and also the valley is more or less similarly developed parallelly with the fault line. Okay, the dotted line is the fault line. Okay, not just the Sing Moon Valley itself. You can see there's a lot of fault line in Hong Kong, and which mostly developed into the valley. Any more examples I can give you? For example, I can give you the examples of Happy Valley. You can see along the Happy Valley, as you know, Happy Valley is a valley. I don't need to explain it, right? And you can see the Happy Valley is actually a fault line, okay, developed along the fault line. And then you can see at the top of the valley, we can find our reservoir as well, which is Wong Lai Chung Reservoir, okay. But right now it's no longer used as reservoir, it's used as a water park, something like that, okay. And there may be a lot of different kinds of example. For example, Sing Moon River also developed in fault line. Okay, so it's very funny that every valley is developed on top of the fault line. Okay, so the valley mostly related to the fault system. And please bear in mind, if you are going to suggest what is the orientation of the fault line, you have to tell northeast southwest or northwest southeast. Okay, not just telling me northeast. Okay, northeast southwest. Okay, bear in mind, because we are talking about like this. Okay, and also there are some minor fault like this, like a fishbone pattern. Okay, next one. Port shelter, it is a submerged landscape. What is this about? Because previously, Sai Kung is a large caldera 死火山口 okay, which is a broken volcanic crater, just like. And nowadays, because the volcanic activities is no longer active in Hong Kong, so accordingly the caldera is collapsed, and also most of the landscape is submerged by seawater. Okay, last glacial period, sea level rise and submerged lowland features along the coast, former hills up, then first appear as the landscape. Okay, so you can see the rock nature and also the fault system is highly related with the landform of Hong Kong. So it's important that we have to generalize the distribution of rock type with the distribution of highland or lowland in Hong Kong, topography of Hong Kong. Okay, so in general, what should we do if we are going to generalize different type of rock type? As you can see here, okay, bear in mind, along with the one that I have showed you later, the table that I have showed you later, and this table is very important to make you get a higher mark in DSE. So please memorize these. Okay, volcanic rock, granitic rock, and also sedimentary rock, their characteristic, distribution, and also the related landform. This is very important. Okay, so let's start with the volcanic rock. Okay, volcanic rock, which is extrusive in igneous rock. Most are tough, as I said before, small crystal size because the fast cooling. Okay, because the cooling is fast of magma. Okay, the texture is compact, so it is hard. Okay, what is the most typical examples for the volcanic rock? I would like to show you a photo here. Okay, wait a minute. Let's see. I want to show you this one. Okay, this one is the most signature symbolic rock type of Hong Kong, showing the extrusive volcanic rock, which is tough. Okay, and then where can we find it? Most of them we can find it in High Island. okay, or time ocean, okay. High island is the main area that we can find the hexagonal columnar joints in the tuff, okay, for the tuff, okay. So how about granitic rock? Granitic rock, as I said before, is made up by the feldspar, mica, and quartz, and the crystal size is large and then coarse-grained. And how is it located? Western New Territory is northern part of Hong Kong and Kowloon Peninsula, and then also eastern Lantau Island. It also make up some hills. Okay, for example, the Castle Peak. Okay, and also the Victoria Peak is also made up by the granite. Okay, how about sedimentary rock? Sedimentary rock is mostly in the northern NENT, northeastern New Territories, mainly made up of the lowland, which is just like the Dongping Chao, and this one is very important. Okay, as I have told you before, memorize all of this. Okay, let's go through it. Okay, again, intrusive igneous rock. It is some of the students will argue with me whether it is resistant or not. It's comparable, relatively not resistant while compared with the tuff. Okay, but when it going to compare with the sedimentary rocks such as shale, it is more resistant because we will use it as a construction material in the colonial Hong Kong, just like the court of final appeal is made up by the granite. Okay, but right now we are seldom using it because it's not quite durable. Okay, but just it's quite durable, but not very durable. What I'm going to say is, okay, and then there are low stratification and then contain no fossil. Okay, coarse-grained, light-colored, and then presence of joint and then crystallite. Okay, this is the main characteristic of granites, and you have to memorize it because some of the question will ask you 4 or 3 marks about the characteristic of the granite, okay, or phylite, or tuff, or shale, okay, whatever, okay. Why it's formed like this is because the magma, okay, the magma is cooled down and solidified slowly. Okay, large grain is constant. And examples I've pointed out here. Okay, we have a lot of bad end, just like Castle Peak, Tors, Alma Rock in Sha Tin, Gully in Castle Peaks as well, and also forming Victoria Peak. And how about the extrusive volcanic rock? It is made up by the rapid solidification of the lava, which contacted with the air. Okay, so accordingly, there are some similar characteristics like granite. For example, non-stratified, which is not layered, and then low fossil, but the differences is like this. Okay, fine-grained, dark-colored mostly. Okay, but for the tuff is light color, dark color. My bad. Okay, dark colored. But actually, you can just refer to the photo you have seen in the DSC and make it up. Okay. Presence of joint, and then as I have right here, which is the $500 notes. Okay, $500 notes is showing that the hexagonal columnar joint. Okay, and which is crystallized. Okay. Why is formed? As I've said before, ash and lava cool down and solidify rapidly in contact with air. And examples: Lantau Peak, Timoshan, and Sunset Peak. Okay, Sunset Peak. Okay, and then how about the shale? Okay, just like the sedimentary rock, Ep1 in Chinese, which is called just like a piece of sheet. Okay, sorry for my pronunciation. Okay, and then sheet. Okay, and then what's shale? And it is less resistant to the weathering while compared with intrusive igneous rock and also extrusive igneous rock. And then stratified, and then contain fossil. Because some of the organism is died and then contain inside within the sediment. Okay, when it's doing the sedimentation, and then organism will go along with the sediment, and then after 1,000 years it may become a fossil. Okay, very grain, because we have different kinds of grain deposit together. Depends on the parent material 啦。Presence of bedding plane. Bedding plane is talking about those plane forming it layer by layer. Okay, non-crystallized 嘅。Okay, as you can see, it's not being made up by Mr. Leung. It's really happened in the 2014 DSE. Why is it formed? Sedimentation, as I've said before. Compaction, cementation. What landform it makes up? Pinch out. Okay? So that's it for the, let's see. Is it finished yet? It's finished for different rock type of Hong Kong first. Okay? I will talk about the denudation for next video. Bye.